Imagine walking through a college campus between classes. Students are studying, socializing, and relaxing, but you can't help but notice how many of them are also vaping. What started as a product marketed as a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes has quickly become one of the most common forms of nicotine among young adults. Vaping is a term referring to the use of e cigarettes, which heats a flavored liquid to create a vapor that users can inhale. While many users figure that vaping is a harmless alternative to the traditional cigarette, countless researchers have shown that it can carry even worse health risks and even more nicotine addiction. Today, I will discuss the rise of vaping in college communities, covering its background and its history, and all of the effects and potential risks caused by vaping and nicotine use. Vaping may seem like a new trend, but it's been growing rapidly over the past decade. Early on, vapes were marketed as a better alternative for cigarette smokers, seen as a good way for them to quit. They were seen as cleaner and less repulsive as they lacked the strong tobacco smell and any lingering odor. However, the popularity of vaping increased around 2015, notably from the company Juul Labs, which made a small portable device that came with several flavored pods that really draw the attention of the youth population. Um, According to the Truth Initiative, by 2019, only 4 years later, more than a quarter of high school students, that's 27.5% exactly, reported using vape products. Today, uh, today vaping has become a, a major health concern for the public, especially among high school and college age people. Organizations like the CDC have studied heavily the effects of vaping and warned us about the risks associated with it, nicotine addiction, and how it can cause lung damage. One of the most serious health concerns linked to vaping is called vaping product use association associated lung injury. It's also known as popcorn lung. Um, yeah. Recently, many colleges have started implementing uh, stricter policies on campus banning vaping and any tobacco use. But a study published in the National Library of Medicine showed that only 11.8% of their participants, both faculty and students, correctly identified their on campus smoking policy. Um, Public health researchers, college administrators, and lawmakers are all working to reduce vaping rates among young adults. But this habit is still rampant in many college communities. The rise of vaping has several important implications for us college students. First, there's the obvious health implications. Once addicted, nicotine is known as one of the hardest substances to quit. Um, Addiction to it can cause a feeling of long-term dependence that can follow a user for their entire lives if not treated. Second, there's the social implications. As vaping becomes more popular, um, it can cause difficulties for students who are trying not to or trying to quit vaping in the first place. When people see their friends or peers vaping, it can feel uh, not as worrisome or it doesn't really feel like a big deal. Finally, there's the academic and financial implications that come with vaping. Vaping and nicotine addiction can destroy your sleep levels, cause stress, anger, and even anxiety. Additionally, regularly purchasing vaping products can become expensive over time, um, which is already an issue for a college student who might be managing their tuition expenses and their living costs. In conclusion, vaping has exploded in popularity from an alternative to smoking cigarettes into a new ad- normalized addiction for young adults who might not even have tried cigarettes in the first place. By learning this history of vaping, its background, the proven health risks, and the increased issues it can cause for college students specifically, we can really find the importance of this issue in the college communities. And um, and potential users can make changes for themselves in their lives that is in the best interest of their health and their futures. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, so besides the effects that you already talked about, are there any other side effects that come with nicotine addiction?
Um, yes, and I actually have another slide to show that can explain that. Um, Here you can see all the effects of nicotine addiction. Um, Obviously, we talked about the nervous system, I mean, anxiety, depression, sadness, irritability, anger. Um, it can even affect stuff in your social life and your relationships. People have reported neglect of activities, strained relationships, isolation, and people have obviously failed quitting several times. Um, and there are a lot of, potentially bad physical effects like stuff in your respiratory, increased heart rate and blood pressure can be bad for people who might already be prone to other heart diseases. Um, it can fluctuate your body weight. It can cause blood clots, and as we talked before, it can affect your sleep. Anything else?
Cool, cool. Yeah, one more. What are some like safe options for people who want to stop vaping?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone will be different in quitting. What works for one person might not work for another, but like there's little hacks you can do because a lot of it has to do with the hand to mouth fixation, putting something in your mouth and, inhaling, things like that. And people have found that like simple things like chewing gum and, chewing hard candies can help. Some people just chew on straws because you can do that for extended periods of time. And then, there's out of the box stuff that doesn't really have to do with that, like just exercising and meditating and just, getting your mind off of it. That can also help.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.